Today, we've got some news regarding the latest patch that's going to be coming to the console edition of Rust. So let's talk about it. This is a big one, folks. This is the Animal Husbandry pack. It's been 6 months in the making, and what we've got here is we've got the ability to breed animals together to create animals that will drop more cloth, drop more leather, drop more bones, and even slightly change color. That's right, you're going to be able to breed bears together to make a darker bear or a whiter bear. It is a crazy thing that D11 is going to allow us to do. And in addition to that, they're going to be dropping a $69 skin pack that's going to give you hot pink animals. Imagine that, folks. This is simply spectacular. No, I'm just kidding. I made this all up. Anyways, here's what's going on, actually. I've been sick for a while, so I haven't got up to date with the staging patch that dropped. I wanted to go over the notes for that, but it's just been confirmed that this patch is likely going to be going over to the main branch of Rust. So you are likely going to be seeing this patch before or on the next wipe that's coming up in 1 or 2 Thursdays. I don't know exactly what day of the week it is. Give me a break here. Anyways, let's get into it. These are the changes. So they added another variant of the fishing village. Yes, it's almost as exciting as the Animal Husbandry update that I announced. Adjusted the amount of scrap you get in return for fish at the vending machines in the fishing village. Refreshed the stack splitting UI. Stacks are now color-coded, and number of items in each stack updates dynamically, and stacks can be split between the inventory and an open container that accepts items. Stack splitting will no longer be canceled when players have too hot or too cold effects when an inventory item finishes crafting or when taking damage. Jackhammer can now be refilled at any workbench. It took them way too long to do that. That should have been a hot fix. Let's be honest. Crash fixes. Fix to crash caused by entering specific characters into a note, which is nice because notes actually don't seem to work. So it means they might start working. That would be awesome. Fixed a very common threading crash. Fixed various server crashes that cause unplanned restarts. Fixed a bug causing the game to hang every so often. Fixed a crash caused by coming into the range of a recycler's audio. Fixed some server memory leaks caused by world items. Bug fixes. Fixed a bug that allowed dead players to loot. Adjusted the default hotbar cycle mode to full cycle mode. Fixed items not getting automatically equipped when placed into an empty slot on the hotbar. Fixed a bug where players could get a screen shake effect when they aren't receiving damage. Boats. Fixed collision and texture issues on the Kayak. Kayak now sits a little higher in the water, which is good for those of you who have very short characters because you'll just be able to see a little bit more. Those of us who are tall can see everything already. It doesn't matter. Fixed texture issues on the new rowboat model and on the RHIB. Rowboat and RHIB no longer decay while they're in use. Monuments. Stop players being able to turn off the oil refinery at various monuments while another player is using it. Cranes at the harbor can now be climbed using the attached ladders. That's actually a really cool one because they don't even have that in the PC version Rust. So I'm excited to see that. Boats can be purchased from the fishing village every 5 minutes. If the previous purchased boat has not been removed from the spawn area in that time, it will despawn to make room for the next one. So pay attention to that. If you let your boat sit for too long, you might just lose it. Fixed texture issues at several monuments. Dome, harbor, Oxman's gas station, bandit camp, airfield, lighthouse, train yard, launch site, satellite dish, fishing village, oil rig. That's pretty much all the monuments, isn't it? They missed 1 or 2. That's about it. They fixed texture issues at pretty much all monuments. Fixed the highlight area of the container at the pump jack. Fixed a spot where players could get stuck at the launch site and the lighthouse. Fixed being unable to reach the refinery at the launch site when slow walking. So you can now slow walk or moonwalk into the launch site. Fixed a spot at lighthouse where dropped items could disappear through the ground. Weapon changes. Compound bow removed as a default blueprint and added to Workbench 1 tech tree. That is a horrible change in my opinion. That should not be. That is a bad call. I like the compound bow. I think it adds a nice element to it. It gives someone who just spawned into the game that chance to get that headshot to actually take out someone that's geared without having to do any research or anything like that. I think this actually does change the dynamics of the game in a way that a lot of players won't notice, but some people with some very legitimate playstyles will notice, and they will be hurt by this. And it's mostly solos who get into the game late. So, working folks. Increase the amount of metal fragments needed to craft the compound bow from 25 to 75. I don't know why they're nerfing the compound bow. Who complained about the compound bow? Like, did someone kill a dev with it or something? What happened? Grenades can now be stuck to building blocks by using the alternative throw button. That's nice. Fix texture issues on the M39 rifle. Reduce the crafting time for rocket launcher from 180 seconds to 60 seconds on Workbench 2 and from 90 to 30 seconds on Workbench 3. So if you guys didn't know, if you craft a tier 1 item on a tier 2 workbench or Workbench 2, it'll craft faster. Same with a tier 3 workbench and a tier 2 item. Reduce the crafting time for custom SMG from 40 seconds to 30 seconds on Workbench 2 and from 20 seconds to 15 seconds on Workbench 3. Items. Pumpkins can no longer be duplicated. There was a duplication glitch with pumpkins. I didn't report on it because I don't like to report on glitches and stuff like that while they're still active, but yeah, it was there. Dropped cooked fish can now be eaten directly from the ground to give it some extra flavor. They added that, not me. I like that. I like the fact that they're getting a little fun with it. They even put a little emoji. Wood storage boxes can now be placed under a workbench too. Clothing items dropped on the ground can now be worn instantly without needing to be picked up first. I thought that was always the case, to be honest. Reduced health points from Workbench 2 from 750 to 500 and Workbench 3 from 1,000 to 750. Fixed a bug that could cause vending machines to become unstable after server restarts. The vending machines now require medicine. I was going to say they require daily medication, but I messed that joke up. Hollow sight weapon attachment is easier to see when looking at snow. Survival fishing trap can now also catch anchovy, herring, and sardine. Yum. Fix the appearance of scrap dropped on the ground. Have the crafting time for several items. Stone hatchet, pickaxe, sheet metal, double door, armored double door, wooden ladder, and hide poncho. The small refinery can now be placed on icebergs. Fixed texture issues on the searchlight world. Fixed resource nodes in snowy biomes from having a lower texture compared to nodes in other biomes. Fixed highlight area of corn plants, and then the UI changes fixed the appearance of fishing controls game tip, and improvements to the stack splitting UI. So that's all the changes we've got. All these changes are right now in the staging branch, but from what I've seen on Discord and what D11's been saying, it seems like most of these changes are going to be making it over to the main branch. I think most of these changes aren't game changing or anything like that, but some of the changes with the compound bow specifically are going to change the way some of you play the game, so be ready for that. And if you're a compound bow user, maybe sort of work on your aim with the crossbow. Honestly, crossbow and nail gun is a killer combo. I'd go with that instead of the compound bow. But every now and then, there really is a good use case for the compound bow, and it's nice to have that in your sort of repertoire to use just when you log into any old server. So I will miss it, but it is what it is. F's in the chat for that one. And until next time, peace.